So is that... Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm going to have to start all again. I'm guessing you can hear me now. Bollocksy bollocks. You can hear it now, can't you? So, right, I'll carry on and go back to what I was doing. So tonight I'm meant to be doing about the sprites. We're looking at how to do sprite to background collision. There is an address which I just looked up in this, which is 53273, but all that does is detect whether a sprite has hit the background. It doesn't tell you what's underneath it. Also, just for you, Andy, this is my original Commodore 64, and I cleaned it up last night, and I've just sent off to Mutant Caterpillar the motherboard to get recapped, although it completely worked last night. And my 1084S I've picked up for my parents as well. That's getting picked up tomorrow because the start-stop button, the on-off button, doesn't stay in. Again, worked perfectly apart from that, but they're going to recap that. And oh yeah, because I mentioned I got the kick assembler because I'm converting this to kick, so I understand more about kick. That's all I said. And you already know all this, but I appreciate you coming anyway. So but I'm doing this for there's a Facebook group called Machine Language for Beginners. A doctor runs it, Dr. Yates I think his name. He's just joined our forum as well. And he's at the moment got a sprite moving around, and we were chatting not so long ago. Commodore 64 Machine Language Beginners Group, of which I absolutely know I'm still a beginner, and maybe he will turn up, but he's moving a sprite around, and we were having a chat about how you do this detection, and I just thought I would do this to help him out. I've opened and shut the wrong window, but there we go, so I can see. So 3. Oh my god, that's not good. Now I feel a bit more self-conscious because there's somebody who I don't know. So sprites, the X is from, you can go from 0 greater than X less than 255, and then you need the MSB bit to go further than that. PacMan isn't going above 255, so I don't care about that. And sprites 0, I think it's 250 is the bottom line. So assuming you have a grid of, what is it? Bollocks, I can't remember. It's 1, 2, 3. That's not right. Okay, no, I can just do it this way. This part of a sprite is top left. That's where it is picked up from. The coordinates. So I've put the sprite in on this part, which has an advantage too. And if I want to display that on a screen, if I want to display it right there, the sprite has a value of 0 and it's behind the border. And I think from the top of my head it's something like 50 to go down, and I think it's something like 26 going across. So, but we want to work out what this bit is in numbers that we would be able to relate and actually look under what that character is by poking or peeking the screen location. So what we need to do is convert the sprite numbers positions into 40 and 25, a maximum of 40 and a maximum of 25. So so screen we have x, the screen has got to be greater than 0 or greater, and smaller than 39. I should put smaller and equal to. Actually, that's true of these as well. And the same with y. Y's got to. Oh, fucking hell! I'm rubbish at this. Talk about doing it on the fly. Y is smaller or equal to 25. So, with that in mind, 24. You're right. It is 24. It's 0 to 24, which is 25 lines, which is why we get 1,000 bytes on a screen. Just under a K, which is why the rest of it's used for other bits. But yeah, 0 to 24 gives me the 25 lines. So if we already know that to get this a sprite here, we've got to make it. Oh, actually, I think it's in here as well. I think it's in here exactly. Just got to find it. I'm sure it has a screen. Oh! Yes. NTSC, NTSC. PAL. I want PAL. Oh, you're kidding me. This can't be an American book. Okay, but on 3.3, figure 3.3, we've got might be the same, because it says NTSC 40 columns 25 rows, which is what we've got anyway. Going down is 50, going across is 24. So to put that top left pixel at the very first character, I would have to make the sprite X 50 and the sprite Y 24. I think I'm reading that right. 24 across, 50 down. So X would be 24, Y would be 50. But then they won't marry up because we can't just keep doing that. So what we can... Oh, and then if you move it across to the next sprite across, so it's 24, 25, 50, we still want it to be sprite 0. Oh, we want it to still be in the first character. So maths works out really well with this. What we want is, I want... Oh, I can't do it in... I should have done... I want the 4th character across and 4th character down to be the determinator of which square I'm in. If I'd have made this... Oh, I wonder if I can. I wonder if it would look a bit odd. Yes, it does. It changes it when it goes down. So I'm not going to change it. I could do it on all 4, depending on the direction, but I don't think anyone would ever notice it. So for ease, I'm going to do the 4th character. So if this was the first character, I'm going to make this pixel on this square determine where the sprite is on the background. So we already know it's 24 across to get the top pixel at that top left hand corner of the screen. Oh, thanks. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought there were more. I thought it was something to do with more vertical horizontal lines on NTSC, which is why they have a different clock speed, because there's less or more lines on the screen, and that's what alters it. But I've never had to bow to Americans for much. So yeah. So the maths is, to start off with, the sprite, the player X, which is going to hold the screen position, and SP0X, which is 532 is going to hold the sprite position. When SPX0X is 24, I want X to be 0. However, I need the offset, which equals 4. So 28, I want it to be 0. So what we can do is the maths is the player x equals sp0x minus 28. And that will work for 1 pixel right at the very beginning. What we also now need to do is as it goes across. So as it goes across every 8 characters, as it's 8 pixels across, what we can do then is so for the next character across is plus 8 pixels. Whoops. To get it to go to this point. And what we can do is if we divide 8 by 8, we get 1. And so player x can be added by that, which becomes the 1. So when we go across 2 characters, it will be 16.
Stuart.
Say hello to the world.
Hello, world. 12 years tomorrow.
Oh, my wedding anniversary. Yes.
I did my waiting 12 years of it in Azkaban.
They are watching you. This is my daughter Sarah.
How many people are watching?
You smell nice. Can
Thank
I
you.
carry on?
How many people are watching?
3. So there's Andy.
What, is that the one that's...
Look, see, hi Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
No, he's a very accomplished programmer, so he just checks to make sure I'm doing it
That's
right.
not Andy Patchell, the one that's obsessed with? Okay,
No,
right.
and then there's me, because I'm watching the screen, and there's one other person who's gone very quiet, hasn't said anything, and I've no idea who they are. So it's either a lurker, or it's somebody who doesn't want to talk, or which is fine.
Hi,
All right.
Andy. Magic Night.
Magic night.
Magic.
Right, can I carry on?
Yes, goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye, darling. You do smell nice.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wait.
He's a spam
I'm
bot.
a spam bot.
He's not. He's a real person. Goodbye.
Spam bots don't talk.
Yes, they do. So, back to it. So if we go 2 characters divided by 8, that becomes 2, which means the player x becomes 0 plus 2, and vice versa. So to do x, if we change the sprite x to subtract 24 off of it, 28 of it, and then plus the sprite position, it's the sprite position minus 28 plus the sprite position divided by 8. Yeah, so that is the first one. Player x equals that, which becomes sp0x. That's the first bit, and then we divide that by 8, and that would be equal to player x as a 0 to 39 equivalent, and it should be accurate, and we do exactly the same down. Now that's it, and with that we can then, using a lookup table which has the start of each of these rows, we can use that by using the y 0 to 24 and the x 0 to 39, add that on, bit of self-modifying code, and do a load it and see what's under it. Took me 2 weeks of watching Old School Shalon, I think it was, to fully understand it, understand the math. I still don't understand his MSB part, but it works. So I'm still learning. So, and that's what I'm going to do today. That's what we're going to do, or I'm going to do. You can watch or switch off or something or other. Now I already have the constants, the areas I'm going to use for that set up. So we've already got SPOX, SPOY, and then down here, I'm not sure if I'll need the PLX, PLY, because we could we could load it from SP0X, SP0Y, but this is going to be the 0 to 39. So now, what I do want to do, I had some code in my, I wonder if I still got it. Had some code that displays the numbers on the screen as a number, and I nicked it off something, but it was great because I didn't have to look at characters, and it's in my bomber program. Let me just check. I think it's on routines, display number. Yeah, it's this. Right. So I'm just going to put this into routines, because I will use that to I'll use this to display the thing on the screen. The accumulator will hold the number, does some division, converts it onto, oh, 0, this is 0 to, what does that do? That was 0 to 9, so it puts the character on the screen correctly. Oh, if it's 2 characters, we've got screen RAM, but I don't use it for, I just use it as a tool. I don't need to fully, because I don't fully understand it. But what I can do is, under the control, this is the 0x, and what we need to do is play control end. Yeah, that's the bit that's not working properly. So it's going to be done in here. We need to do the maths. Maths for x and y. So so we've got them in PLX. I could do the maths here, but you have to do it 4 times, whereas this way we only have to do it all once. Can't believe you guys are still here. You're a sucker for bollocks, really, aren't you? So, so the first thing I'm going to do is load SP0X. We're going to substitute. We're going to subtract. Oh crap! Need to do some maths to make sure I know it. Easy. So if I am going to LDA hash 58 SBC hash 57, I need to that should be 1 SCC. Right, I need to set the carry to get 1, which means I need to set the carry in that. Oopsie. So before I load that, set the carry, SBC. Now the maths was am I definitely right with 24? I think I get, it's too easy to get mixed up. Check lots, program it once. Figure 3-3 it was. Here comes a sneeze again. Right, 24. I'm going to leave that open. So it is 28. Subtract 28. 1632. So that's B. C. Oh, hang on, no, it's 27. Because 0 is the first one. No, it's 28. Even though it's 0, it's still 28. So now we've got the number without, and now we need to do a logical shift to make it smaller, which is to the right. So that divides it by 2, 4, 8. Store that in player X. And then I think I can do that. That should make it white. Display number top row. And then I want to do the bottom row. Oops. I'll just put row. Plus 41, plus 42. D8, 16, 32, is it 2, 28 is 40, 29. I'm sure 28 is 40. It is. Right, so display number row and display number top. So this will be JSR display number top. Because I can get rid of that. Display number row, display number top row. So that will be the X, and then we can do the Y, which is exactly the same, except it's Y, it's just the row and the maths is different. So we've got to subtract 50, 54, 16, 32, 48, it's 3, oops, it's 3, 6. Oh god, if that works straight off, that'd be cool. I doubt it is, but I don't have much success at not like John. Here we go, byte. Set up. Doesn't like me doing that. Oh, it's because I could. You just have to remember. You just have to figure out. It's like oct, isn't it? It's counting 16s. Right. Oh my god. It works. So, without moving it, that's saying I am. Well, I already know the starting point is the second one of these. So, oh look, I've put an @ sign. Now that's saying it's in column 14 and row 17. Now that's interesting, because D is 14 in hex, but 10 is 16, which means it's gone to this one, which means my maths is wrong. Oh, of course it is. Oh no. Maybe it's no, I have got it wrong, but I don't know why. What's this? This is 54, and I said it's 50. Oh no, that should be right, but I want it to be 1 1. So, is that not right? Definitely says 50. And then 4 pixels down would be 54. And then we're dividing it by 8. Okay, so if we move it, if I move it to the left, that D should become, I don't know if I could stop it. Oh. Let me make it bigger. I don't know if it stops. Oh, it does. There's C, and that's over that dot. There it is in B, and go all the way down to, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I've definitely got something very. My logic seemed fine, but the maths is wrong, because it's saying it's spilling over. I am. Am I getting rounding errors? I have, because that's gone to F, which means so what I can do is, oh, hang on. I thought I had to do that because of Easy 128, Easy 6502. Oh. That's not made any difference. And yet when I did a subtraction, I got the wrong number if I didn't set the flag. So taking 8 off of that and taking 8 off of that will make it 2C, 2B. Oh no, it won't. It was 36, wasn't it? Hex. That's 2E. I don't like. I mean, Shannon does do this. He plays about with a number until he gets it to do what he's want. But I was hoping, because of where I've put it, it was all going to be right. 0, 0. B, eight. So 1 8 is 16 and 8 is 24. So it's working fine now. So that's the same maths we'll use for everything. If I bring it back here, there's no screwing around, it's back to being 0 0. It will only go to be less than that once that pixel 4 goes off the screen, which it won't, because it will do here, but I don't care when it's in here, because it's just going to take it over and then loop around, and it will come out at this point. But now we know where it is on the screen in 0 and 25, we can use a lookup table and add the lookup table. If we have the beginning of these addresses and I want to see what this point is I'm pointing to when the mouse is, I look up the first Y column, which is, you can load Y with that, and then I put that into a bit of self-modifying code, and then I count how many there are across here and put that into the self-modified code, and I can load that as an address and see what's on there. That's all it is. Sounds really complicated. It's a piece of piss. It has to be a piece of piss because I can do it. So if that is you on Ian, let me know. But you can do this. Anyone can do this. So the maths bit is oddly right, but I don't know why. What I need to do now is, in the animation we need a table. Now that is for animation. I should put it in here. And again, once you build up your constants, you will always have, this won't ever change, which is why I'm going to nick it, because I can't be arsed figuring it out again. Here we go. I did put it in in animation on the last one, but it should be in a table. I could do a tables one, you know. Maybe I should do that. Add a new file, tables, put them in here, and then in main, in asm. So tables, we've already said that we've moved the screen bank to bank 3. We know this is our starting point. So on a standard screen, without anything moving, we have where is it on this screen? That's the sprite editor. Oh, I don't know where my screen is. Oh, no. Screen editor. So on a standard screen, this is $400 1024. We've moved this point to be $C000 or 49152. That is that top left hand corner. The reason why I'm telling you now we do it in C000 is because when you look at the table, the very first byte in the high and the low is that very first point on that screen, and this is what we're going to use for our self-modifying code. I also don't know why I've got something. Oh, because the space is that corner. Yeah. So that's the beginning of the second row, C028, because 28 is 40, going across 80, 120, 160, 200, 240. Then it goes back down to here because it's just because of the screen addresses. But that's how that works. Sorry, that's what that table is. So I will do it in a routine because I don't really want to change it much, and we can put that table, oopsie, into here as well. I just said I'd try and keep this one neat as well, so oh well, that will do. So yeah, in the routine, we will now show. Excuse me. Now I just realised I don't need to show that display number row anymore. I don't need to do this top row, so I'm going to get rid of that. Oh no, I'm not going to change it back to be just row, and get rid of this one. I don't need this because we've shown you it working, and I never use it when I get stuck. But what we will do is, in the main loop, we need to check for a collision. And that's going to be the routine. So what is under the player? And in here is where it's going to be. I always get tired because I relax. Yeah, it is, but it's not the good. It's not a good art of understanding what's being written, because you could just nick Shannon's code, and it will work perfectly. But God, you won't understand any of it, or I don't. And that's why when I did this originally, I kind of got to that dividing thing on my own, and I just hadn't done it very well. And then when I watched Shannon's video, I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing, that's so simple. And then I incorporated it, so I understood more. And that's what I struggle with, is understanding some concepts. I don't really understand how interrupts work. I know there are vectors we're meant to point to, and we can do it trapped on the raster line, and we can get it to run whilst the cursor's doing it, because you hijack something and then you finish it off. I still don't really understand it. The only time I've ever got it, which wasn't a raster interrupt, but it was the smooth scrolling on my Lander game. I am no names, not naming in names, but I will. I'll be watching Phases at the moment. Phase 101's his goat tracker, because that's really cleared up a lot of the stuff I suspected and I got completely wrong. And it's, yeah, so I've still haven't finished the first video, but made good progress on that. But I will I'll check yours, because I know roughly what they are. I just can never get them to work off my Hazemaker nicked a game that Shannon wrote. Oh, I hope not. Okay. Right, we want to know what's under the player. So, ultimately, we want to know what is under that. That's what we're going to be trying to make. And actually, it's going to be going across, because we're doing at that point the X part, but we haven't included the Y part, and the Y part is the bit that starts off that row. So I always use boob because I'm a child and I find boobies amazing. This is self-modifying code, and also I think Shannon said something about this, and it makes sense. If I ever see boob, I know it's been modified. So what I need to do is we want to use the player X, which we've already said is the character X, and player Y, which is the character Y. The first one is the Y, and that is going to be how many rows down are we, and it's going to grab the start from that table based on how many characters down we are. So the table is here, so when we're in the top row, it's going to grab the very first one, 0, of each of these tables. So that's easy, and then we just push that into the bit that's going to be self-modified. To make that bit easier, I will call it screen location lookup, because then it makes it easier for me to tell it to store that bit and that bit. Oops. Now in assembly these are reversed. While this is right for me to look at when you look in assembly, when you look in machine language, on the address this will be like that, back to front. So we need to put the little bit first, and then the big bit, which is why we've got the high and the low table. So just remember that. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't work one way, it will work the other. But it is low byte and high byte first. So we know I'm going to use Y. I don't need to. We'll load X. We'll keep it as X. We're going to load X with the player Y, because that's how many rows we are. And then I'm going to load A with the low bit first. See, even then I was about to do the high bit first, but you don't. You do the low bit first into player, comma, X. So when this is 0, it will pick the very first number. When it's 1, it will pick the second number, and then now we've got that number. We want to it's in player. I don't see player. There it is. And then I want to store that at this +1. And the reason for that is that tag there is this LDA command, which is 1 byte. 1 byte long, and then the next bit is the low part. So we've had to increase it by 1 to cover up this in assembly. Really, when you look at it, you'll want to put it in 2. It's wrong. So now we've got that bit modified. We now want to load X with screen low high, because that's the most significant part. If we remember the table, it's all in here. So, and then I want to store that in this same place, but 1 further character along. I don't know who. Oh, really? Oh well. You can't copy and paste. You've got to understand what you're doing to butcher code and take it over. I started following that let's make a game, and after about the 3rd episode I went, let's not, because it's just fucking too hard. Right, so, and we're going to store this in byte 2. I knew somebody had done boob. I'm sure Shannon's mentioned boob. There were some other ones. Beef. I think he also mentioned beef. But when I saw boob, I thought, fuck, I'm just doing that. So we've now modified this 2, and now we need to get the X position going across. So if I load X with player X, that'll be 0 to 39. And now I'm going to load that table with that location and then X amount across. And that's going to be my accumulator. And then we can do compares, we can do whatever. Now what I will do is I can store that at $C000, because that will then show in the top left hand corner the character. It should show the character under my under the sprite, and ultimately that's what I want it to do. So I am going to give that a go. Here we go, player 66. What have I done wrong? Huh. Player Y and player X. Have I I don't understand that. Player E, player X. Oh no. Oh no, no. That would be load EA. So that wouldn't have worked. I don't understand why it doesn't like that. That's just the row you need to add the column to. Oh no, it's failing. It said invalid address mode, LDX. Oh, no. No, that's... This is a location. In exactly the same way as that is. And exactly the same way that when we move stuff, I store it. '66 on this screen. So it's failing on this bit here. Player Y is defined as $12. Oh. Go figure. Okay. Oh, you won't see it because it's going to be in black. Yes, you will. But there you go. It's showing exactly what is under the sprite at any given time. Not the right colour, I don't care about the colour, but it means I can now compare. I can then do a character check to see if this is a dot. If it is, remove it and increase the score by 10. The other thing is, you may or may not remember, these are my characters, and all the walls are between there and here. That's all of my walls. So when I load it, I can do a very quick and easy comparison to see, is it less than 27, or if it's greater than 46, then ignore and stop it moving. And then the only thing to do then is the 59, which is a point. So the comparing should be quite small. But that's it. That's what I wanted to do today, because people like bite-sized chunks. And I think next time we'll get this animating, and we will get the score. We'll get the dots being eaten, and we'll stop. And we'll stop doing the we'll stop it at the walls to see if we can get it to not so stop it going through walls anymore, and then we should be get quite accurate for moving it about. And I also need to speak to John. Actually, I wonder if you would know, Andy, about the animation. Have you got a minute? Okay, so I've not got this working right, and I can't figure out why. And it's this animation. So this is when I'm in the character. These are sprite pointers, so it'll go to $10, $11, 12, 11, then back to 10, 11, 12, 11. Okay, that's exactly the same in all four directions. In the main, we go to the player control. Wrong. In main, I have a this is a $02 location. I increase this by 1 every time it flips around. I load it, compare it to being, this is I think 60, yeah, 59, 0 to 59, which gives me 60 frames. If it equals that, it resets it to 0, otherwise it doesn't reset it to 0. That's it. Now under player control, I'm just checking the joystick. And at the end of all the joystick things, whether it comes back to player control end. What I wanted to do was, I was trying to get it to animate the sprite every 60 frames, or once every 60 frames, or once every, when it got to frame 40, because I was actually going to make it become every quarter of every 15 frames. I wanted it to animate, and I thought this would do it. So this compare at the moment is comparing it against 26, which is pretty much half the frame. Just under half the frame. And I thought if I handed it, it doesn't matter what the frame counter is. Once it hits that, so it's 1, 1 and 0 and 1 and 0. Once it got to that thing, that's when I want to do it, and then I compare it. And if it's not equal, I wonder if it should be equal. In my head, if it wasn't equal, I wouldn't animate it, otherwise I would animate it. And then the animate is to Oh, see, my code's already got untidy. Or animate player, and then it would do the change the pointer for this is when it goes to use a power of 2 3 7 15. I have no idea what that means. No, because the 0 clear out the bits. Again, I don't know what that means. I know if the frame counter is 111111111 and I AND it like that, that and that becomes 11010. And then if that was 000000 frame 1, that will end up being, when I AND it with that, it becomes zeros. Okay. So use a power of 2 minus 1. No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Oh, somebody else has just joined. I wish I knew who it was. Anyway, yeah, I'm stuck with that. So I just thought if I ANDed it with that number every time it got to 26, even if it was 1126, when I AND it with wrong, when the frame count... Oh, I'm not that interested. I don't even know how to get to a mod screen, so... anyway. No, but it should do. Yeah, it does. If I have a 1, if I have a 0, and I OR that with a 1, I get 1. If I have a 0, and I AND it with a 1, I get 0. But if I have a 1... Oh, hang on. And 1 equals 1. Yeah. Picture of a oh. Oh, casino thanks, Commander Root. Okay. Cheers for that, didn't know that. Because if I want to set a bit, if I wanted to load, if I loaded C000 and then I then OR that, with percent 0000, if bit 0 wasn't set, that would set it. And and also if I ANDed that, let's say C0. Oh. If I have C00 equals percent I laid that memory location wrong, and then store it. C000 equals %0000. So if I then compared that with %000, that would be equal. And that B&E would be fine. I don't understand. I just don't. I understand logic, and I just don't understand why that doesn't work. I wonder if I can see it in. In here. Also, there's a way of slowing this down actually, and I keep forgetting it. Okay. That might be enough. And what I need to do is find out code. Oh, have I been a tit? No, I haven't. Player control end is what I need to look for. Here it is. So that's the bit it does the stuff on. Wish it did that in not stopped it, have I? Oh 0990. I have stopped it. So this is the start of the every time you clear the bits so you're not increasing the value. No, well, the frame count is increasing, and I'm just at the moment just trying to trap it once every 60 frames. And at the moment it's doing it massively, lots of times a second. I know that. No, I'm just loading the frame counter, doing an AND, comparing it. If it's not equal, I don't animate it. If it is equal, I animate the player. But I'm not saving the frame. The frame is getting saved in the main loop here. So it increments it and then do a test to make sure it hasn't gone above 59, because it's from 0 to 59. If it's not gone above that, it just carries on. If it has gone above that, it resets it at that point. So it's only ever going to go. Why not just compare it? You mean keep it simple, stupid? Well, right, yeah. No, okay. Reason for that is I wanted to put a pattern in of 20, which is 16, 16, 1, 0, 1. That's 20. Or it might have been 19. A reason for that is when it gets to being 30, when it gets to 40, that pattern will come around. Oh, no, it won't. No, it won't. Oh, that's what the issue is. It is working, but my maths is completely wrong, because 40 will not be 32 plus 16. That's 48. Oh, I'm a cock. Yeah, I know. I've just sussed it. So if I compare that to be $1.14, B&E check next frame for player. And if it is equal to that, no, let's do that. Let's do it the easier way. BQ, go and animate CMP hash dollar 28 is 40. And then that will be a jump. No, it won't. E go to that. Then this will be that. That will work. Because if it's not equal, I'll say do not animate. Otherwise it will go and animate, and it will do it for all those two. Go to animate player. I should get 3 a second. Yeah. Yep. I'm hoping this will now do 3 frames, 3 thingies for Sprite. Interesting. But it's too slow. And it seems to be open and closed for longer than it does as it cycles round. So that's fine. Now I think I could probably do that in a lookup table and alter the frame in a lookup table. Now right, so if it was 16, you could AND with 15 and it would work, or any power of 2. I've just read out what you said. I don't understand what you mean. So, so what you're saying is, because there is an even gap between the numbers, I think it... Why isn't that an even gap? That's 20, that's 40, and that's 59, because I suppose that should be 13, 27. But even then I don't think that makes... And with 15 or 31. Okay, load... let me just... save that bit. $15 or 31, so that's going to be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Right, so that's 15. No, it's not, it's 31, sorry. No, no, it doesn't. 59 gets reset. 59 gets reset under the main. So it gets done here. When each loop, this is increasing by 1, and then I'm loading it, testing it for 60, and then resetting it, or not resetting it, depending on what it's meant to do. And I've checked that in debugger. You can see that in... Huh. Oh, 10%. Is that 10%? Oh, is it warp? No, I need to go back into F9. Settings. There's a shortcut for this, I know, but I don't know it. Maximum speed is 10. So F9. So when this is reset, load it. If you look up here, do you see this is my counter? This is the frame counter, so it's doing that pretty much once a second. So that is my timing counter. I just don't... Oh, no, it's this, isn't it? Now, interesting, that looks even. Yeah, I don't want it to. It's too slow. It's too slow. It's 4 frames. But it's too slow. So I need to will that speed it up? I think it will. Oh, wrong. Because it should be like that. Oh, look at that. Meep, 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 meep. That'll do, won't it? Give me food. I don't like the mouth. I don't like the fact the mouth is 2 and not 1. I looked at that and I thought it looks a bit odd. I think it would be better like that. And actually, you know, that will make it better. Because that now will push it to be the absolute center. Oh, bollocks, I have to put that in. Because it's... Oh, crap. It's got to be a circle. It's got to be that. Because I use it in all 4 directions. Oh, there we go. Okay. That'll do. Sorry, let me just finish this off. I did say I was going to do this fully online and not do any of this. Oh, I've done this while I was away. rotate 90, move it to the right, copy that to 8 and flip it. Right, and then that one. Oh my God, John! I was going to call you, but Andy Magic Knight fixed it. He told me the error of my ways. And my animation is now working. I was trying to use some logic in the wrong way. I've just been doing it wasn't that meant to be this long. It was only meant to be about what was I doing? Oh, it was about converting the sprite position to left and to character positions. And that's all I was doing. But I just asked Andy about the animation thing, and he has shown me where I went wrong. So that should now be all the sprites with an odd number of pixels and animating 6 times a second, is it? No. I'm just wrapping up. I was going to come on the thing, but so the only thing to change, I think, is that. Too fast? It's working though. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because John's going to have his stream and he hates me streaming when he streams. So I will catch you guys later. Trot.